This podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. Your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. Fix Auto. Corky's Pest Control. And Lolita's Family of Restaurants.
Hey there, sports fans. Christian Pedersen, Coach Tom DeMeo. Welcome to the first ever San Diego Prep Insider High School Lacrosse podcast. Coach and I all season long are going to be chopping it up about what games you need to watch, what players you need to know, just kind of letting you know what the great sport of lacrosse is doing out here in California now, because it's exploded, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell me.
It's exploded, and I think it's great we get to do this and promote the game of lacrosse in San Diego. It's growing all over the country, and I'm happy to be involved with it.
Well, you're kind of happy to be involved with it also, because can you I know you don't want to show that up, but yeah, so he walked into this podcast with his arm hanging down a little bit. That's last year's Division I title ring. That must be kind of exciting to have on, but it's a fresh new season. You're looking forward now. So what we're going to be doing is every Tuesday, we'll be coming at you guys with just a brief little 5 minutes about the game. So fans, you can keep us tuned all season long. Coach, let's get right into our very first debate section, if you will. First question, we're in the preseason, we're in the early days. Different teams have different approaches. You can say, schedule me heavy, just play Torrey Pines, Coronado, give me the biggest of the best. Or schedule me light, give me a lot of wins, give my guys time to execute, to learn the game. Where do you fall in this?
I think every program's different. Every coach has to look at the program different. You could be Torrey Pines or you could be an upstart program. And I know I scheduled my teams differently 3 years ago than I will this year. We start out the season with Cathedral Catholic, which we'll get to that in our games, which is something new for us and a challenge. And coming off a championship season, as you said, we wanted a challenge. But I think every program's different. Every coach has to look at it from their perspective, what's going to be best for them. But one thing we all want to know as coaches is that our kids will be challenged. Because if you don't challenge them, you get to the playoffs and it usually doesn't work out.
So you'd rather take a couple losses early in the season, but be happy with, we played our best, we learned where we need to grow.
Absolutely. It's, losing, there's nothing wrong with losing as long as you're competing. So you'd rather lose in the regular season than the playoffs. So it's a good time to feel out your team, put them in situations with adversity, and if you don't challenge yourself as a program, you won't have that opportunity. So I think every program has to pick their spots.
Very nice. Well, so let's talk about last year's champions. Let's give you the rundown. Poway was our Open Division champion last year. They're going to be returning a huge chunk of that starting lineup, including their goalie, who was maybe the difference maker in that game against Torrey Pines last year. Poway's still a powerful team. You guys were the D1 champions last year. What are your thoughts on this season?
Well, I think for us, for Santa Fe Christian, we return a good handful of guys that we had last year. We've been working hard. They had a good off season. We're ready to go, and I think it would just take it one game at a time. And we do know the honeymoon's over with people. Pay attention to us now.
They kind of know you a little bit.
So they know us a little bit, and we're looking forward to it. We're up for the challenge.
One player to look forward to this year who might be having a breakout season?
We got a handful of young guys. We do get a freshman two freshmen who'll come in and start for us, like we had last year. We do have a sophomore, Will Littlejohn, who last year started for us about midway through the season, had a really good playoff stretch, and he'll definitely jump out as one of our younger guys that will play a role.
Very nice, very nice. Our other champion from last season was La Jolla, winning their first in school history. They are now bumped up from D2 to D1. Just talk a little bit about what kind of a challenges a team can face when they make that jump.
Well, I think all along, specifically for La Jolla, they probably were a D1 team to begin with. We played them to a 2-goal game early in the season. They're a good program, well coached. But yeah, I think, there are some programs that jump up, and they're going to be faced with the reality that the teams they play are bigger schools, more athletic, and it might not be as easy as it was in the division below. But I think La Jolla is certainly up for the challenge.
Perfect. There you go. So every week we'll bring you a little bit of a debate section. Folks, you can tweet at us, let us know if there's anything you want us to talk about. Then one thing we're going to end with is game previews, because we got to let you know where to go, because there's a lot of games happening all week. One of those games, you already previewed it a little bit. You said David and Goliath. I'm going to disagree with you, but you guys are going to be taking on Cathedral Catholic. Sorry, I wanted to say Coronado. You're taking on Cathedral. That's going to be happening tonight. 7 p.m. Give us a little sense of what we can look forward to in this game.
Well, I think it's going to be. I mean, they're a big school, historically a great program. I think we're definitely coming off a good season. I think it's going to be a grudge match. I think our defense plays hard. We have good goaltending, and we fight at the X, and we just got to try to stay with them up and down the field because they're going to be extremely athletic, and they have some great athletes and some really talented players over there. So we just got to make sure we can run with them.
Cathedral, also one of those teams that plays a lot of out-of-city games and really challenges themselves with as diverse of a schedule as they can. So good to see big non-league matchups happening right off the bat in San Diego with between two San Diego section teams. Another game, let's go down to Division II. This one will be happening on Friday. We got Saints taking on University City. A couple of programs looking like they might be some of the favorites in D2. Got a couple big offenses. Tell me what you see here.
Well, Saints, I've been watching Saints the past couple of years. I've actually never played them, but this year, Coach Toller and I put them on the schedule late in the season. I think they're a good program, and I think you're right. I think they're, from what I see with them, they're well coached, and they're going to follow suit with some of the other programs at that school, and I think they'll be tough to beat in Division II.
It's going to be an interesting year also for University City. They graduated a fair amount of their starters last season, so it's kind of a year of turnover. Always hard to know at the beginning of a year when you have that kind of turnover. What are we going to get? Best laid plans could all go to waste or end up being a historical year. Last game, let's go over to the girls' side. We got a huge matchup on Friday. Poway, Scripps Ranch. You said that you kind of like what Poway brings. They've got a couple local girls staying local. What do you see there?
Yeah, Poway, the girls' program's always been good there, historically. And I know Scripps won D1 last year, and they graduated some seniors. But I know there's a couple Division I commits over at Poway, and I know their parents, and of my daughters have played with their daughters, and I think that's going to be a great game. That'll be a fun one.
Poway's going to have a couple commits staying here at San Diego State, including Isabel Flood, who's a senior this year. But like you mentioned, though, that Scripps team, last year's Division I champion, they have one of the best goalies in the county in Sam Fish, and that can always be an X factor when you have the last line of defense be your best line of defense. So that should be a lot of fun to watch. Same with our debate section. Let us know what games you want to talk about. We will gladly learn everything that we can and tell you as much. Coach, thank you very much for week number 1. We will see you next week, and folks, we will see you all season long.